So this was an experience. I just got back from Tusk, the new Kevin Smith take on horror. Kevin Horror. Kevin Smith sounds like some guy's actual name, Kevin Horror. But no, Kevin Smith is taking a shot at doing a horror movie. Um, I heard mixed things going into this movie. I've heard it's really good. I heard it was confusing. I heard a lot of people. I saw one review. One person gave it like 1 star. So it's really all over the board. And one of the big things I heard was that it's solid for the first like half, and then it just loses any tone of horror it had in the last part of the act. And that's not an entirely inaccurate assessment. I mean, it's not that bad. Okay, first and foremost, I think I think I like the movie. Um, but and no, just Tinkerbell. Wait a minute, there's Tinkerbell right there. Oh look, I'm petting the kitty cat. I'm petting Tinkerbell. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. Anyway, uh, we'll see Tinkerbell in this. There it is. Tinkerbell will be my mascot for this. And so yeah, I just killed 20 seconds doing that. Um, so I generally think I think I like the movie. I generally like the movie. This had some problems, but it's kind of hard to assess what the problems were. First and foremost, what's the plot? Justin Long plays this podcast guy, and he basically goes around looking for strange stories to talk about. And he sees this ad for a guy who lives in this old house alone, and he's got plenty of stories to tell. And one of the stories involves him being saved by a walrus and befriending a walrus and whatnot. And then he captures Justin Long, and he starts to experiment on him and turn him into a human walrus. Movie. And from what I understand, it's based off a Craigslist ad that Kevin Smith saw that has a similar aspect. It's like you get this free room, all this great stuff, but you got to dress like a walrus for 1 hour a day and entertain the owner. So supposedly this is, and Kevin Smith put in the very beginning that it's based off true events. Yeah, how much of this is based off true events? If there was a serial killer who did this, I mean, there's some fucked up things in the world, people, but that's a whole new level of fucked up. So what did I think? Well, first off, right off the bat, like 99% of this cast is great. One character I'll get to later. Um, but no, Justin Long is good for who he's playing. He's a dick. Justin Long is a dick in this movie. He's this really asshole podcaster who basically he viciously rips people apart online on his podcast basically. And he cheats on his girlfriend all the time. The girlfriend knows he cheats on, so she's cheating on him with his best friend because he's there to comfort her and all that. But in his core, he's not a bad person. He's just become this because of the fame. Now it's all gone to his head, and it's just kind of what he does and who he is now. But he's still a human being at the end. We kind of know he's still human inside. Um, and then his girlfriend's played by, I believe, Genesis Rodriguez, and his friend's Haley Joel Osment. They're both fine. The guy who's selling this movie, though, the guy who's selling is Michael Parks as Howard Howe. Um, this man gives performance. This if there were, I know there's like horror Oscar awards kind of thing. Whatever the name of that is, gore rewards or something like that. Wait a minute, whatever the name of the horror version of the Oscars or Academy Awards is, Razzies, whatever. This man needs to be on there. Michael Parks was fucking stellar in this movie. He really was. He's weirdly charming, but at the same time, you can just see the psychosis in this man. He starts off he starts off when they've him just along for me. He's going. There's basically monologuing, not monologuing per se, but having a back and forth just along about his life and some of his adventures, meeting Ernest Hemingway, being saved by the walrus and stuff like that. It's a great dialogue. That's one of the major points of this movie. That's just fantastic. The dialogue is still Kevin Smith dialogue. And that works actually surprisingly well in a horror genre aspect, especially the way these scenes are played out. There's some stupid lines like "I don't want to die in Canada." In the trailer, that was funny. In the movie, it's not funny. It's not bad, but it plays to the horror aspect, especially the way that Justin Long is freaking out. He's really fucking freaking out with a good reason. He's being fucking mutilated into a walrus. There's some grotesque imagery in this movie. Um, Trying to figure out if I want to spoil anything. If I want to make this a spoiler movie, because if you notice, I've been trying to avoid spoilers, so you generally have a better experience if you do go see the movie based off my recommendation. Um, I will say, okay, this is a minor spoiler, but yes, Justin Long is turned into a walrus. It's a wow. What he's contorting his body, and he amputates his legs, both of them, so he can fit in this walrus suit he made out of human flesh. He puts tusks on his face that are made from his fucking tibia, his own bone, his leg bones. He's took out his tongue so he can't talk, and oh man, it's so. I'll say that there's nothing that truly scared me in this movie. I will say that, with maybe the exception of the Michael Parks character and just the way he's calmly monologuing at points, and he's unsettling at points. The imagery is grotesque. Um, Justin Long in that suit, my God. Um, let's be clear. When you see this, you'll first think, "My God, what did you use by?" And then you realize, "Oh no, he is in a suit," which plays into one of the problems I have in the movie. It's kind of near the end. Um, I'll talk about that a little later. But overall, and it's for a horror movie, it's fine imagery. It is because yeah, it's gross. And this guy, he's talking to Justin Long like, "Oh, it's Mr. He's calling him Mr. Tusk because that was the he named the walrus. He later shows up in his own walrus suit he made to basically challenge Mr. Tusk, Justin Long. It was interesting. Um, the general tone up until Justin Long really gets is a walrus for a while. Because when he first turned into walrus, when he's first shown as the full walrus form, it is like that some like holy crap moment. Because he's made it's made his suit's made of human skin. You literally see faces that have been sewn on there. So it's a heady brew of imagery. But then the tone shifts because up until then it's got a good blend of comedy, like almost an Evil Dead tribute to Sam Raimi and Evil Dead a little bit. A good tone up until there of the comedy and the horror blend together, suspense and all that stuff. When first sees his leg is amputated, it's you're just like, oh crap. Um, and the way he's playing off the Michael Parks is playing off of Justin Long is it's really well done, really suspenseful stuff, really unsettling stuff. But then the tone does shift after the initial seeing him in the walrus suit. We cut to a character known as Guy Lapointe or Lapointe. He's French. He's like either French Canadian or just Frenchman who moved to Canada. And when I saw this, I'm like, is this who I think it is? And I looked at it closely, and I got IMDb over here so I can confirm it. Yeah, it's Johnny Depp playing this character, and it's. I don't want to say it's bad because he actually has a few serious moments when he's talking, but he's very wacky. He's a very almost Inspector Clouseau-ish. Um, and it doesn't play with the tone that they started going for, and it doesn't fit as well. I know it's supposed to be there because he's kind of supposed to be like a comic relief at the same time as not at the same time while being serious. And we cut to a flashback when he actually met the killer at one point, Michael Park's character, and he realizes I actually met this guy at one point. I'm like, holy crap! Um, and he had a different name. He was like being this dumb like hick, a Canadian hick. Imagine that. I'm sure every culture and every state, every continent, and every country has got a hick of their own kind, but that Canada's not one you think of as a hick. No, not a hick. He was more of a acting like a simpleton at the time. But no, he doesn't make any. It doesn't make sense why he. why first of all, why is Johnny Depp here? And not that I don't like Johnny Depp, but he's been turning out some performances. I hope the one where I can't remember the name, but not Capote, maybe it's Capote. Point being, he's where he's playing like a mobster, kind of helps revitalize him. Because what has he got coming up? He's got Mordecai, which he's being a bumbling character, and again, very Inspector Clouseau-ish, and Into the Woods, where he's playing the big bad wolf. He's got another at Wonderland. He's got another Pirates of the Caribbean. So, in terms of taking him seriously as an actor again, it's not looking like they're going to do that anytime soon right now. Except for, and I really wish I could remember the name of that. Hold on, I got IMDb up. Why don't I just fucking look? But while I'm getting that up, so yeah, he has a few moments like where you see when at the end where they go and they save Justin Long. Spoiler. Okay, you know what? This is gonna be a spoiler. But Justin Long doesn't die at the end. But he's kind of stuck in the suit, where he's basically like full war salute and stuff like that. He's got the gun, and it's a serious moment where he's like basically going to try to put him out of his misery. But it's so out of place for what the character was originally shown as, because he's basically shown as this Black Mass. That's the name of the movie. He's playing Whitey Bulger. What else? Well, here. Out of the Woods. That was in Mordecai. London Fields is one that I'm not familiar with. Black Mass is the name of the movie where he's going to be playing the Whitey Bulger character. And wait, what? Oh, Yogi Host. Oh, that's right, Kevin Smith. That's right. I should say that this movie is going to be a trilogy of Canadian. It's kind of like what Quentin Tarantino is doing with the wow. Why am I blanking out? Django Unchained thing. Thank you. Anyone. He's kind of doing a trilogy where one was the Nazis, one was that, one was Django Unchained, and now we're getting the Hateful Eight, which I think is supposed to be its own kind of trilogy and stuff. That's what Kevin Smith is now planning to do. And this next one is called Yogi Hosers, which just a look, and he's playing the same guy, so it's kind of the same universe. He said that the cast will come back from Tusk for this movie, and probably for the other one, which I believe he said was Moose Jaws or something like that, which is basically Jaws with a moose, as he put it. But no, this one is two teenage yoga enthusiasts team up with a legendary manhunter, in this case the Guy Lapointe character, to battle an ancient evil presence that is threatening their major party plans. Okay, okay, I'll probably see it. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, back to the pot. I'm really going on a tangent. The cat even turns around. It's like I don't want to deal with this right now. Um, no, I mean some of the dialogue, most of the dialogue, that's Kevin Smith dialogue. One of the things Kevin Smith does great is dialogue, and like there's a good scene when he arrives in the airport in Canada, and he's having this back and forth with this guy who's basically like a Canadian, like back not oh man, it's late. Sorry, it's like almost 3. I'll probably have this up on Wednesday instead of the Tuesday when I'm doing it. Um, I got a friend who's basically checking his passport, all that. And it's like, oh, you follow hooky. It's like, oh, I don't follow hooky. Okay, we have Canadians, Canadian dues, or how do you put it? Canadians and Canadians and Canadian. Canadons and Canadoos. That's how I put it. It's just like you don't say you don't know hockey if you're in Canada. It's just like we're from. I've got this site called the. No, on his blog site's called the Nazi Party, not C Party, and just he goes, it's like, oh no, Nazi, not like the bad guy, not like the Hitler kind. You don't say Hitler in a point. It was generally it's just funny dialogue, really, when it's being funny. And it's in the vein. It is in the vein of Sam Raimi, not in the vein. It is in the spirit of Sam Raimi, kind of a horror comedy blend. But it's like I said, once it gets to him as the Walrus for quite some time, we see him multiple times as the Walrus. It's still very. It's actually tragic to see. Oh, not even tragic. You're pitying this character just because, like, oh, like, put him out of his misery. And he kills the guy character because basically the point is the Howard Howe character ended up eating the walrus because he was starving, and yeah, that's what happened. So he's been feeling guilt over that because he didn't give him a chance because the walrus trusted them and stuff like that. He feels bad about it, so he gives Mr. Tusk the Justin Long. Mr. Tusk another chance by fighting him, and then Justin Long kills him, going full war. So they put it, and then cut to the end, which normally I would be okay with because he's basically living in like a wildlife sanctuary. They go to see him, and it's sad, and they show he's still human because he cried. They make a they use flashbacks to tell certain parts of the story. And at one point they show flashbacks. It's like it crying shows or human shows we still have someone. We see him crying, and it's like he's still human underneath. But I have an issue with that ending. If he is in fact still in a suit, um, I mean, yeah, let's be clear. He's been fucking deformed. He's been mutilated. He's missing his legs, probably below the thigh or the knee. His arms are like this, and you can tell his hands are fucking messed up. He probably doesn't have his hair anymore, but that can grow back. Um, why not cut him out? Yes, he's never going to be the same. Yes, he's going to look probably deformed and stuff like that. But you know what? Here's the thing: the legs thing, you can get and he even explains he made 100 grand on just ads alone before merchandise. He makes a lot of money to afford a lot of medical systems. So my theory on what they could have done in a realistic ideal is cut him out of the goddamn human fucking suit. Make his arms so he can use his arms again. Because they show his arms are more. Their arms are like he's like this. They're like fused together like this, because like a walrus flippers and whatnot. But you can easily just cut it, sew it up, use with that. His hands are morphed a little bit. He's got webbing that can be fixed a bit. Um, the legs, prosthetics. The biggest problem would be his tongue was cut out so he can't talk, and he's got those fucking tusks inserted into him. So yeah, that's gonna take some cosmetic surgery. But you know what? Why didn't you get him out of the suit? Seriously, that's a cruel fucking fate. He made again 100 grand in 1 year on ads alone before any other merchandise and stuff like that. He's probably makes even more now. He has to have money to be able to do that, and you can easily get a doctor to. Anyone would try to save this guy. So why did you leave him in the suit? That makes no fucking sense. Yeah, and once it gets to him in the waters the most time, well, it's still grotesque. It's not you lose the feel of the grotesque after that. Because you see him multiple times in that suit, so you're like losing the feeling of the grotesque and horror. And now it's just unpleasant to watch, kind of. Apart from the Michael Parks character still being the crazy Michael Parks character, because once that happens, we introduce the Johnny Depp character, LaPointe, and it's not the same movie anymore. Not that it's bad, but the feel is just off. There's some odd parts of dialogue, some choices the characters make don't make any sense. Um, Again, particularly that last bit. That ending, that bothers me. It does. I get it's supposed to be that kind of cliche horror ending because of that, but still. And this, it loses most of the suspense and frightening after he becomes the walrus, so that's kind of where the problem the film really lies. Once he becomes a walrus, we introduce to Guy Lapointe. Again, not that the Guy Lapointe's a bad. Surprisingly, he has a few moments of seriousness which helped his character out. But um, yeah, and apparently he's gonna be a running character throughout the Kevin Smith True North, as he puts it, trilogy with the Tusk cast. Apparently, that's what one of the things the Tusk cast is going to be. In fact, still got the thing up. Let me see how many people are. So we got Johnny Depp is back as Guy Lapointe. Justin Long is back. Harley Quinn Smith, which is Kevin Smith's daughter, is back. Haley Joel Osment's back. Jennifer Rodriguez back. Natasha Lyonne's back. So yeah, all these characters are back again, and then they'll probably be back for the Moose Jaws one, which that one sounds more interesting than this is fascinating to watch. I'm not harping on this terribly. I would say that despite the fact that it's fine performance and that's the way the character is, I don't like how douchey the Justin Long character is, just because that he is a supreme asshole kind of. But in the end, he understands why he's an asshole. He's sorry about it because he doesn't want to fucking die to turn to an animal. So yeah. So yeah, trailers real quick. I got I got a bunch I've already talked about, so I'll try to be quick. But I only got really three I haven't gotten before. Well, one I haven't gotten before. One's a different version of a trailer I've already gotten, and then the other's one I've seen but haven't talked about yet. The first one I got that was new was Fury. Fury is the obviously it's a new trailer for Fury. Gives us a really different take on the actual movie. Shows the kind of the familial unit of these guys and the odds they're against. You may have seen the trailers on TV where you see the tread come off the tank. In the movie or in the trailer, that's kind of like a no shit moment. Like, oh crap, because there's a few moments where it's great when a movie can actually make you go, oh crap, they're fucked. Everyone, that movie really looks good. That movie looks really fucking good. I'm looking forward to that. The next one I got was Birdman. Now, this is an interesting one. I've seen this trailer before, but I haven't got a chance to talk about it because it hasn't been attached to any movies. Birdman is like it's somewhat an independent film, kind of. I don't know if it's truly independent, but anyway. Um, it's got Michael Keaton, Emma Stone, Edward Norton's in there, and basically, Michael Keaton plays this washed-up comic hero. Basically, a guy who played a character called Birdman, and he's basically watching. He's trying to come back with like a Broadway show and stuff where he's starring and writing and producing and all that stuff. And it's just the psychosis of this guy who doesn't feels like he's nothing anymore. And basically, is he washed up? Is he done? And he's got this voice in his head, basically the Birdman personality. He always Birdman talks like this. You're original, man. You're you're an innovator. You're original. Let's show what we got. We got one more in the chamber. Let's make a comeback. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Um, and I'm like, this is a really good commentary on not just washed up stars, but the price of fame. And who better to play a washed up comic hero than I'm not calling Michael Keaton washed up because he was Batman, but who better to play a guy who's a comic book icon than Michael Keaton, who is Batman, so he's playing Birdman this time. And Emma Stone's his daughter, and it's interesting. You see him for some reason running through the. Obviously, he's having a freak out moment where he's running through a crowd in his underwear, and this guy's just like, "Oh, you're Birdman." He's like, "Could you sign this?" And he's like, "You fucking rock." I look forward to. I first off, I love Michael Keaton. I will watch anything with Michael Keaton in. I liked RoboCop a lot, particularly because of the remake, because of Michael Keaton. And even that movie itself was actually generally not bad. Not obviously not as good as first, but whatever. Um, but yeah, I look forward to. I would love to see Birdman. It's actually the Birdman's not the full title. It's Birdman or, and it's like in parentheses, the wonderful experience of ignorance, blissful ignorance, or something like that. I didn't quite write down that one, but last one I got was one called Whiplash. Now this one's more of an independent film, kind of. It's like done by Sundance. It's got wow, why am I forgetting his name? Well, it's not John C. Riley. It's now this is bothering me. He played J. Jonah Jameson. Oh, J.C. Simmons. That's it. J.K. Simmons. There we go. J.K. Simmons. It's got J.K. Simmons. I can't remember the other one guy's name, but he's been in some movies now, like That Awkward Moment, and he's going to be the new Mr. Fantastic and the Fantastic Four babies. And yeah, so that kid he's basically a guy who wants to be like one of the great jazz musicians, and he's being taught by J.K. Simmons, who is this extremely intense, overbearing teacher of jazz, and it's chronicling their kind of relationship and him trying to be the best, and J.K. Simmons is just this overbearing, committed kind of man, and he looks good. I don't know if I'll get a chance to see it. I don't know if it'll be in like actual mainstream theater, but it looks good. J.K. Simmons looks like he's going to be great, and that other actor looks like he's going to be fine. I really wish I could remember his name. It's late. It's late. It really is. So yeah, they look good. Those are the only three new ones I got really. I also got Annabelle, which Um, and like two others that I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, the problem I'm gonna have here is giving this a rating. First off, I'm not big on horror movies generally speaking, and while this is definitely horror, it strays back and forth. It's a bit more of a horror comedy. I love Kevin Smith. The only Kevin Smith thing I don't like is Red State, and that's just because I haven't seen the movie, so I can't judge Red State. And that though, I love Kevin Smith movies. Some are better than others. Particularly, the Clerks movies are probably among them his best. Along with Mallrats is pretty good, and Chasing Amy is a bit underrated. I didn't watch, and that's another one I didn't see. Jersey Girl is another movie I didn't see, but generally speaking, Kevin Smith is pretty up there. Man, how would I rate this? I'd say the first like 2/3 of this movie is pretty damn solid. But once we get into the whole him Walrus and the Guy Lapointe character, it kind of goes downhill. Not like rock bottom downhill, but definitely downhill. Um, but it's not. It's also not like the Maze. It's a real bit of a problem to rate this because it's not like the Maze Runner when quick because we don't have that review up right now. It will come up at some point. It will. Um, quick thought on the comment on the Maze Runner. I overall like the Maze Runner. I think I gave it a 6 because the overall movie was fine. It had some problems, but it was nothing that bad. Up until we got to the ending, and the ending just pissed me off, so I had to rate it a 6 because of that. I don't know, otherwise I probably would have given it like more like a 7.5 or an 8. This one, the ending didn't piss me off as bad. I'm just like this ending shouldn't be happening right now. You should have actually taken care of him, tried to bring him back to humanity a bit. Um, I think I don't like giving out too many sevens because it's kind of my average rating, and that's an above average movie. And I have to say this is above average. It's worth a watch. I'm probably gonna give it overall about a 7, maybe a 7.5. Just because again, up until after he becomes the walrus, it's a pretty decent film, pretty solid film, dialogue and all that going around. Ken's dialogue is great, and so that helps keep the movie together. Um, yeah, so yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll give it about a 7.5 because of that. And the first 2/3 of this movie are pretty solid. It goes downhill a bit in the third act, but not so much that it's horrible. It's worth a watch. I say it's worth a watch, absolutely. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe as always. If you like it, if you think you like us and someone else will like us, you think so, by all means, share. We appreciate all our viewers. So this week it's gonna be. I wasn't gonna catch Walking with the Tombstones. I'll probably see that at another point, but I may not do a review on it just because I kind of want to see it. This week is the Box Trolls and the Equalizer. I'll probably try to catch both. First one I'm probably catching is the Equalizer though, assuming I get a showing. If not, it'll be the Box Trolls instead. So one or the two. I look for them. Both look really good. I'm hearing good things about the Equalizer and Box Trolls. It looks. We don't get claymation too much, so that looks like it's gonna be fun. So thanks for watching. I'll see you for the next one. Later, folks.